Now we have a big, huge, beautiful peach tree right here sitting in a 24-inch pot. Now, the reason I'm shooting this video today is because I want to talk about my secret planting method, all right? So it's not going to be secret anymore because I'm going to share it with you. But since I've done it with all my trees, they have thrived like you wouldn't believe. Before that, I planted a tree, it died. Now, they couldn't be happier. So here's the secret. So you start off by digging a pretty traditional hole right here, as you would expect. You take the 24-inch box here that the peach tree is sitting in, you set it right where you want it on the grass, and then you cut an outline around it. So you're about, 6 to 12 inches around the outside of the box. And I want to dig that thing about 24 inches deep so that when I set this in the ground, just at the ground level of the box, the wood in the box will be even with ground level here, and that's the idea. But if I did that just like that, the tree would drown, just like the rest of my trees did before I learned this secret, because the water goes into the ground when you water it, but the problem is we've got super hard clay here, and the clay is so hard that if you just cut a bowl out and drop a tree in, you water it, the clay holds the water and just sits there and drowns. It never drains, it just drowns the tree. So I have a special draining technique that I sort of kind of figured out. I'm not a plant person or a tree person. I'm an engineer, kind of figured this out, and maybe others have done it before, don't know, I haven't really looked it up, but I'm going to show you, and it works really well, okay? Now, first thing first, I got to finish digging this hole. Let's do that now. Okay, first step, get your auger and start creating drainage, right? You got this big, huge pit. If you drop the tree in here now, there's so much clay in here in California, it's just gonna suck up the water and hold it right here and drown your tree. And so what you need is a bunch of drainage. Well, that's where the auger comes in. So again, we got a 2-inch auger, diameter, and 2 feet long. We're gonna drive just a bunch of holes in the bottom of this thing. And every time I drive a hole, it pulls up clay. I'm going to throw the clay out of here and throw some nice soil in that hole. Again, drainage everywhere with good soil in that. You'll water the tree, the roots will drink the water, and the rest will drain away, and you'll water it again later, but it won't sit there in a soup forever, just drowning. Okay, now the trick to this is to put it on, drill. So the clutch is on here is set so that it's going to be drill, it's not going to slip at all. Put it on slow, not fast, and you go in pretty easy. Also, I hang on to the battery pack of this, right? Because if you hit something hard, it's going to spin hard. If you're just holding it here, it's going to spin your wrist pretty bad. You got to let go quick or let go of the trigger and stop drilling. And you kind of go in and you pull the dirt out, and before you know it, you got drainage holes everywhere. So let's check it out. Okay, let's get all this dirt out of here. That's it. And with that, we can then fill that full of soil so we don't get a bunch of clay back down in there. Okay. Hoorah! So we've got 18 drainage holes in here now. 18. That ought to help this thing be a little healthy, right? All right, now the last thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to take the auger, I'm going to work the bottom of this thing up so that it's just loose clay as much as I can. Maybe go down 2, 3, 4 inches and just completely loosen it up so when I drop the tree on it, it's sitting on loose clay, okay? It's got all the drainage in here. And of course it's got, a foot 6 to 12 inches of space around the whole thing. And it's all going to be mixed in soil as well. So, you know, I'm not planting 100 trees, you know, it would take forever. I've planted these 3 and I did one each day. They take about 2 or 3 hours. But, you know, for me, and maybe for you, I want this tree to grow for years and have a lot of fruit and be super healthy. And so, you know, I planted trees before and I didn't do all this and they died. You know, it's like, well, that wasn't fun. What did I do wrong? So I did some research and I found that I thought the problem was drainage. I've seen these guys that put PVC down on big trees and they fill it with rocks to get some good drainage. You know, on a big, you know, multi-$1,000 tree for landscaping, you know, maybe commercial. So I figured, wait a minute, there might be something to that. So let's auger out some drainage holes and maybe fill them with dirt, not rocks, okay? And I think that's gonna help. And boy, the Fuji apple's going nuts. And every other tree or plant that I plant that way seems to be super happy. All right, so enough talking, let's finish this thing up. I'm gonna work up the bottom here, and then we're gonna slide this thing in. Okay, let's go. All right, that is prepped, okay? You can see that hole right there. Take a look down inside. Look at that. We got all the drainage. We got beautiful soil down there. I threw in the extra fertilized soil that I had there, the compost, threw it in there, mixed it up with the clay. So it's a nice soft bottom. And we are ready to drop that tree in. So let's do it. We keep the wood and the bands on there, but we're going to take the bottom off. Okay? Moist down here. I keep this thing really well watered. Okay. Got that. You catching this? Good. And we got the bottom off. Now we can drop this thing in and then adjust it just right. Take the bands off, take the wood off, and plant the rest of the tree. Here we go. And we're going in. We're going in, folks. We're going in. Ah, look at that. Beautiful. Oh my God. Oh, that tree is happy already. It is just so happy, I can just tell. All right, it is now in the ground. I think it's feeling pretty good now. And guess what? It's time to water. Now, we know about water too, don't we? The water is going to go down and nourish this tree, and it's going to drain in all those 18 different holes we dug in there. So I think it's going to work pretty well. So let's go and get that water going, and we'll finish this thing up.